Welcome back to Fourth and Troll Fantasy. What is going on, Fourth and Trollers? Welcome back to Fourth and Troll Fantasy, the most entertaining fantasy football show on the planet, on the interwebs, wherever you see them. We're the most entertaining. My name is Noah Selby.
And I'm Wes Selby.
And we're back, and we're talking to you today about rookie sleepers for fantasy football in 2025. We already talked to you about the guys who are going to be day one impacts. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Make sure we link it below. We have got over 10 players, 10 plus rookies that are sleepers for fantasy football this season who have an opportunity. We're going to talk to you about them real quick. It's going to be a good time. Before we jump into it, make sure you follow us on all our socials. Everything is going to be linked down below. And hop into our Discord. We're having good conversations in there all the time and sharing minute-by-minute news with you as news drops. Make sure you are in there. We always have a blast. Wes?
Yes.
Let's get into it. Take it away.
The first sleeper we're going to talk about, I don't even know if he's really a sleeper because there's so much potential for him to even be a day one impact. But we're going to talk about the new wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers. That's Tre Harris. I cannot tell you how much I love this guy. He is arguably the best wide receiver of this draft class, in my opinion. But the wonderful thing about Tre Harris is that Ladd McConkey can still eat and Tre Harris can get fed. This is a world where they're both going to succeed. We know that Ladd McConkey did a lot in the slot. Tre Harris is a wide out, and this is exactly what the Chargers have needed for quite some time. With all due respect, I have no respect for Quentin Johnston. They need a real wide out over there with some hands, and he's got some of the best hands. He's like an A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams type of potential. I really have high hopes for Tre Harris. I tried to get him in every dynasty league I could, and I'm also trying to get him in the 2025 redraft. I look forward to seeing where his ADP is. Keep your eye out for where Tre Harris is in your draft so you can snag him.
Love me some Tre Harris, as well as I love this next guy. It is Jack Bech, wide receiver out of TCU, drafted to the Las Vegas Raiders. Stud, absolute stud at TCU. And he's got a massive opportunity here. There's really no other wide receiver option in Las Vegas besides Jakobi Meyers. I say wide receiver because obviously Brock Bowers is there. But they got a bit of a quarterback upgrade. Believe it or not, Geno Smith seems to be a little bit better than a poo cocktail of Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell and whoever else was playing quarterback there.
Dad.
Jack Bech has a great opportunity. He has a really good shot to come out and be the team's wide receiver too. He's got to compete with Trey Tucker. I don't really know. He's got a really good shot here. Really like the skill set. Really like the opportunity. Reminds me, actually, honestly, of Jakobi Meyers in the way he plays. So great option here for a sleeper. Keep your eye on him. Fun fact, more yards and receptions in his freshman year at LSU than Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., who were both on that team. So, listen, it may be a bit of an unconventional stat there, but Jack Bech has a good opportunity.
He was my top 11, my wide receiver 11 from this draft class. I got very excited when I found out he went to the Raiders because there's no one there. And speaking of top 10, here's a guy that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Maybe some of those that are sneaky fantasy football researchers like yourselves, trollers, because that's why you're watching this video. The next guy we're going to talk about is Kyle Williams. And the truth is, there is a lot more opportunity for Kyle Williams of the New England Patriots to succeed. First things first, yes, Stefon Diggs is there. Yes, Stefon Diggs signed a nice, wealthy contract for the Patriots. I don't know how his ACL is, and we don't know how he will perform immediately after this surgery and recovering from this. Will he be like his Buffalo Bills days? I don't know. You don't know for certain, and you know it's also not for certain if Demario Douglas is absolutely better than Kyle Williams. And I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's just a fact because Kyle Williams is phenomenal. In my top 10 from this draft class, he is someone who is fast. He's also got great yak ability. I comped him to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Don't think of him as literally one of the best receivers in the NFL. But Kyle Williams can do a lot with the football after the catch. And I expect him to do very well for Drake May's sophomore season and help Drake May's stock for this season and the next one. Keep your eye on Kyle Williams, New England Patriots rookie wide receiver.
Love Kyle Williams. Also love this next guy. He's Xavier Restrepo. undrafted free agent. That's right. We're talking about an undrafted free agent, 4 players into this video, but he signs with the Tennessee Titans. And listen, when the number 1 overall pick is hounding his front office 3 days into being a Tennessee Titan saying, go get my guy, you got to pay attention, okay? Teammates with Cam Ward at Miami, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at Miami. He is a slot machine. You just mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Xavier Restrepo has a bit of Amon-Ra St. Brown in him. I know he had a really, really bad 40 time at his pro day. But when you watch his film, it doesn't equate. It doesn't correlate. He is a slot machine, and I feel like he is going to continue to be a safety net. Obviously, he needs to make the team, but I believe he has a great opportunity to, and I think he can keep the magic going with his college quarterback. Really, really like Xavier Restrepo as a sleeper rookie.
And speaking of teammates, we're going to talk about 2 brand new rookie wide receivers for the Houston Texans, Jaydon Higgins and Jaylin Lane, both out of Iowa State, both drafted, correct me, Noah, if I'm wrong, on back-to-back rounds. Higgins was round 2, was Noel round 3?
Correct. Both day 2 wide receivers.
You know what this tells me? Without a question, we have to pay our respects to Tank Dell. I don't feel great about Tank Dell's future with the Texans, whether it's because his injury with that horrible freak kneecap thing with the Kansas City Chiefs is long-term, or if it's just back-to-back seasons with a season-ending injury. The Texans know something that I think we all don't want to admit, and that's that Jaydon Higgins and Jaylin Lane have to fill in for Tank Dell. And now listen, Jaydon Higgins is getting a lot of hype already. He signed, I think, a record-breaking contract, like the first fully guaranteed contract for any rookie, a wide receiver, maybe rookie ever. And if that doesn't say a lot, then just take also some of the highlights from Jaylin Lane, the other Iowa State rookie wide receiver, who I think is an angry football player. He is awesome. And if you want to get CJ Stroud to continue to win playoff games and get him further, you need some better pass catchers. Now, as long as they can protect CJ Stroud, we can keep our eye on Jaydon Higgins and Jaylin Lane as some sleeper options for the 2025 redraft.
Absolutely. I like that you just mentioned an angry football player, because this might be the poster boy for angry football players. It is Cam Skattebo, running back out of Arizona State, gets drafted to the New York Giants on day 3, but no worries, because we knew that would happen. If you join the Discord, I literally said the Giants are going to draft him in day 3.
That's true.
That is true. Cam Skattebo is a dog, okay? There's literally no other way to say it. Senior year at ASU, over 1,700 rushing yards, over 600 receiving yards, and 24 total touchdowns. Opportunity is absolutely there because, yes, Tyrone Tracy is there and established himself as a solid fantasy option. But hey, he was a day 3 draft capital. You never really know. Who else is maybe a day 3 draft capital? Cam Skattebo, who they just took. I expect him to come in, rotate into this timeshare, and maybe even take over the role. He's got a wide skill set. You think of him and you think maybe he's just like a third down grinder. But when you look at his receiving production in college, you cannot ignore it. So Cam Skattebo, I believe, is a great opportunity here to get mixed in quickly with the Giants and be a fantasy relevant player.
Next guy we're going to talk about has no choice but to have an opportunity because there's like no one else that he has to compete with, and that's the Broncos rookie wide receiver, Pat Bryant. Courtland Sutton had a nice season, and that's kind of it for the pass catchers. Now, let's not forget Broncos made a fantastic move getting Evan Ingram. Looking forward to that heavily because in the offseason, people were hoping the Broncos would draft a tight end. Instead, they just got one of the bona fide proven, that's the word I'm thinking of, proven tight end. So who else is there to catch the football aside from Courtland Sutton? Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims had a couple of nice games. Troy Franklin sure isn't going to do a lot. Poor guy, drafted same year as Bo Nix, teammates from Oregon. There's a wide open opportunity for Pat Bryant. They drafted a wide receiver. He's a sleeper. Just keep him in mind. Let's see what happens with this Broncos passing game.
Absolutely, yeah. R.I.P. Marvin Mims. He didn't die. He was just not relevant for fantasy. This is not safe.
I like him. Oh, well.
Next guy here is Terrance Ferguson. We've got a new Ferguson in the NFL. He's also a tight end. So there we go. He's coming out of Oregon. There you go. Exactly. He's coming out of Oregon. Great round 2 draft capital. And allegedly the Rams had a first-round grade on Terrance Ferguson. So they are excited about this guy. Listen, I don't know if he's going to be a weekly play for you in fantasy, but when it comes to Rams tight ends, I think they're like the home of the sleeper tight end, Colby Parkinson, Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett when he was there. These are all guys that we thought about, we talked about, we pulled him maybe as a second string tight end for our fantasy teams. And Terrance Ferguson now steps in here in a great opportunity. Okay, he came out of Oregon, they play high flying football. I believe he's got a great shot here, and McVay really, really likes the guy. I think we need to remember the name Terrance Ferguson. He's going to be a decent option here in fantasy this year.
And just to add to that real quick, there's a lot of rumors that the Rams might try to make a trade for a tight end in this offseason. They wanted to try to target specifically Dallas Goedert. Didn't get that done. So that's how highly they think of Terrance Ferguson. So we will see how that turns out. Let's move over to a very interesting prospect. That's the Chicago Bears rookie running back, Kyle Monangai. I think they got snubbed from their top two running back options, aside from Ashton Genty. And day two, we were talking about in our Discord, Bears probably wanted Quinshon Judkins and then Travion Henderson, and then sniped back to back. And they're like, I guess I'll take Luther Burden the third. He's pretty good. Well, Kyle Monangai is one of the best running backs from this draft class. And the truth is, DeAndre Swift is one of the best at losing his job to other running backs. And Ben Johnson, I think, has already made that decision once with the Lions. He was like, Dan, let's get Jahmyr Gibbs instead. Kyle Monangai is no joke. I like him a lot. Now, there's a lot he has to do to get on the field, of course, but he's going to have a lot of help because I don't think this team is going to want to make this sounds mean, but I don't think DeAndre Swift is part of their future. They've invested so much in the youth so that Caleb Williams can grow. Where they have age and veteranship is that offensive line where they stacked up. And why wouldn't you want to take notice of a running back with one of the most improved offensive lines from this offseason already? Kyle Monangai, keep an eye out for this guy. Am I right? That was whatever.
Come on.
Stupid.
Boo.
Whatever.
All right. Next guy here is Mason Taylor. Okay. Similar scenario for Mason Taylor as is for Terrance Ferguson. Like I mentioned, Taylor flew up draft boards close to the NFL draft. He comes from an NFL bloodline. I love your dad. Now,
yes,
he gets second round capital to a team that I think desperately needs weapons on the offense. I think the Jets, they have Garrett Wilson. They have Breece Hall. There's a question mark there. But really, there's not much more there. And I think Mason Taylor has a chance to actually, truly, by the end of his rookie season, be a top 10 tight end in fantasy. Let's not forget, Cole Kmet was a top 8 tight end back-to-back seasons with Justin Fields in Chicago. I think Mason Taylor steps into a really good opportunity here. Would I have been more excited if the Jets went ahead and took, I don't know, Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland at 7 overall? Sure. But Mason Taylor still gets day 2 capital. Second round is no joke, especially for tight ends. I really think Mason Taylor has a good chance this season to be fantasy relevant for our teams.
I hope for the sake of Malachi Corley, you're not right. But the truth is, the draft capital is important, but that's just my dynasty team talking. All right, let's move over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They drafted a rookie running back we should keep an eye on. He's a sleeper. His name is Bhayshul Tuten. I'm going to say that again because, gosh, that's fun. Bhayshul Tuten. Bhayshul Tuten is the fastest running back. 4.32. Okay? This is like Devon Achane speed. This is faster than definitely Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. And when you look at that Jacksonville Jaguars running back room last year, it was not consistent and it was a struggle. And now Noah and I called it last year. Okay. We were very clear. Travis Etienne is not going to repeat in the top 10. Do not bank on him. We got some pushback. Some fans, people on Discord, even some personal texts are like, are you sure? We're like, yeah, we're sure. And then that was exactly what happened. And then Bigsby had a nice flash here and there, but it just wasn't really a lock. Bhayshul Tuten, with his speed and with what they've already done with getting Travis Hunter, and I really believe that there's opportunity for any running back in that running back room to find somewhere on the field. I think there's PPR upside. Just keep an eye on where Tuten ends up in this running back rotation because I really do believe this will be a rotation in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and let's not forget that this was a team that was rumored to be very in on Ashton Genty, meaning maybe they were looking for a new running back. Maybe this was an opportunity for them. And, we don't know if that was smoke screens or not, just to get someone to trade up with them. But this is a team with a new regime with Liam Cohen who came in, maybe talks of a running back. So important to keep an eye on here on Bhayshul Tuten. Let's jump to another guy here, Jaydon Blue, running back from UT, stays in Texas, goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, who even knows what Dallas is doing at running back, to be completely honest? Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, Deuce Vaughn. What are we doing here? But I can tell you that Jaydon Blue will get a shot to play. That's not a difficult running back room to try and come out on top of. So I think there's a chance he brings value here. He's a bit of a different kind of body type and skill set kind of player. He brings a change of pace to those kind of quote unquote thick boys who are maybe going to just be between the tackles. We'll see here with Jaydon Blue. I think it's interesting. You don't love the draft capital, but you can't ignore a team that for 2 years in a row we were waiting for them to take a blue chip running back. And they didn't, and they refused to, and now they finally do, and so we'll see. But Jaydon Blue is an interesting name you got to keep an eye on for sure.
Last guy that I'm going to talk about, and then Noah's got one. I'm sticking to the team I talked about first. We're going back to the Chargers because I really like this guy, Oronde Gadsden II. His father was a wide receiver for Miami, fins up, and golly, does he catch like a wide receiver. He is like a Mike Evans at the tight end position. He is an incredible receiver for Justin Herbert. And with Tre Harris and Oronde Gadsden, who also, as most of you know, the Chargers were heavily pegged to go get a tight end in the draft, and they didn't, and that's fine. They end up getting Marion Hampton, which we're all very happy about, and he's a day one starter. Oronde Gadsden, I think, is going to make such an impact in this passing game. We're going to start talking about Justin Herbert back in the top 10. I don't think there's much question of whether or not he could be your starter because of how good Oronde Gadsden and Tre Harris will be, so much so that I don't have a problem with people wanting to wait for a tight end. Look at some of these rookies, because let me tell you, these rookie tight ends last couple of years, really, really good. It's not going to be better than Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland, but I really like Oronde Gadsden. He's a sleeper for 2025. Keep an eye out for that Chargers tight end.
I don't know if you saw his draft call, but Harbaugh gets him on the line and says, "We've got a spot and we've got a vision for you to do something for us immediately." And so we'll see what happens there, but that was pretty encouraging from a fantasy football standpoint. Last guy here, Jaylin Lane. Jaylin Lane, wide receiver, joins the Commanders wide receiver room, who outside of Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, who may have taken a step back, we'll have to see. We don't really know what else to expect. Let's not forget, last season we were streaming Olamide Zaccheaus on this offense because he was getting peppered with targets. He was getting opportunities here. So this is a high-powered offense. It's an exciting offense. It's a good team. Why not take a chance here on a guy with an opportunity to make an impact in a spot with a good offense in his rookie year? I like Jaylin Lane. I think he'll be a good option for you, and you should keep your eye on him. I think he's going to be very exciting and potentially might even take over as a wide receiver 2 spot from Deebo Samuel. We'll see what happens, but thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow us on all our socials. Make sure you get into our Discord. All of it is linked down below. And we will see you next time. My name is Noah Selby.
And I'm Wes Selby.
And before you log off, let us know who you think is a rookie wide receiver sleeper. And we will see you next time. And this has been 4th and Troll Fantasy.